Everybody, I'm Sean Hammond. We're at the New York Amp Show at the Electroplex booth, or room rather, with Don. Don,
there,
good to
Sean.
see you again.
Good to see you too.
And we've got Tom playing through the amp for us. Now, for people who remember the name Electroplex, you had some cool amps, the Rocket 50 and
Right.
100 in the past, and you were kind of off the scene for a bit. Now you're back with the Electroplex 22. Tell us about that.
That's right. This is basically the same amp as the other Rockets. However, we're using 6 V6s for the output section, and that gets us into the 22 watt area, which is a great zone for a lot of guitar players these days and in multiple situations. And it also has a low power switch for operation at 12 watts, and it gets to really good meaty tones in both settings. And it's turning out to be a real popular number here at the show.
Cool. All right, Tom, let's hear what this thing can do. Sounds great. Now, Don, why don't you lead us through the control setup here?
Sure will. Right now we're in the red channel, which is the aggressive overdrive channel, and it's basically set up to be quite flexible for the player who wants to get various nuanced sounds using his hands, and I'll explain what I mean by that. There's a gain and a volume control, and then we're followed by treble, middle, and bass. And then the presence and reverb affect both channels, the clean channel and the aggressive channel. And what I did with the gain on the red channel was make it very gradual, so that a player can dial in that threshold of exactly when the hair comes into the sound, and so then the player is at liberty to control that with his hands. He hits the guitar hard, and he gets that little bit hair to accent his playing, and when he dials it back, maybe with his volume control, or just plays more lightly, it cleans up for him nicely. So it gives them a good flexibility to set that wherever they want it, and depending on whatever guitar that they're using at the time. So that's really one of the main goals of the red channel, was to give it a very gradual control from clean all the way up to raging, and it sounds good the whole way, which is not an easy thing to do.
I bet.
Yeah. So the next thing, the other part of the design that I think is unique about this is I built 2 different voicings into the tone circuit. I was inspired by the old blonde basement heads of the early '60s, which had a normal channel and a bass channel. And they were basically nearly identical circuits, except that they had the bass channel's tone circuit was voiced down an octave lower, so that when you cranked the volume, the treble control for the guitar on the bass channel, it just hit that upper mid range and just gave you a really nice bright upper mid range crunch. So I tried to pay homage to that here by having something that emulates both what the normal channel does and the bass channel does in terms of dealing with the treble for the guitar, and I can kind of take you through what that's all about. What I want to do is start off with the treble turned up high, the mids turned down to low, and then the bass up high, and that's going to give us more of the normal channel sound that you would get from an amp like that. And
like the old bassman that you're talking about from the early '60s.
Right. All right, Tom. Now we'll do that with the other tonal setting. What I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the treble all the way off and crank the mids on this one. Thanks, Tom. And of course you can blend the two to whatever amount you want for balance between the normal and the bass channel for voicing. So that's the other party trick that the red channel does.
It sounds really, really good. I'm loving it.
Thanks.
So, should we hear the clean channel?
Yeah, we'll take you through the clean channel now. Okay. Basically, it's a very basic clean channel with treble, middle, and bass. And again, the presence and reverb have an effect on this too. What's nice about the 22 watt, especially in the 12 watt mode, is that you can actually start to overdrive the clean channel and get a different tonality, as this has a totally different tone circuit. So basically, I try to cover all the bases for players from clean to every step of the way to the grunge side of things. So, and hopefully with some voicings that people will find useful for humbuckers or single coils, whatever kind of guitar that they're working with. It should be rocket friendly.
Cool. Thank you so much for telling us about these amps, Don.
Great.
And Tom, thanks for playing.
Thanks for coming by.
Where can people go to find out more about your amps?
Well, they can go to my website, www.electroplex.com, and catch our email there, and that's basically what I have at the moment. We hopefully will have dealers opening up in the near future.
I'm Sean Hammond. You're watching PremierGuitar.com.